Welcome to News Beacon, your trusted source for breaking headlines, global insights, and sharp analysis from around the world. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. International relations often shift slowly, gradually, almost imperceptibly, as nations weigh their interests and alliances. But sometimes a single event makes change undeniable, sending shockwaves through capitals and markets alike. The new economic partnership between South Korea and China is such a moment, one that redraws East Asia's economic map and signals a profound transformation in the region's future. For decades, America was the hub of the region, the anchor for security and prosperity, but this deal signals a new axis of power emerging in the East. It's more than a trade agreement, it's a blueprint for deep integration between two of Asia's most dynamic economies, setting the stage for a new era of collaboration. The pact covers advanced technology, finance, and culture, envisioning joint R&D, streamlined supply chains, and coordinated infrastructure, fostering innovation and shared growth. Imagine a seamless corridor from Shenzhen's tech hubs to Korea's industrial heartlands, and Asia powered by Asian innovation, where ideas and goods move faster than ever before. This marks a sharp departure from the post-1-2 order, where American capital and technology led the way, shaping the region's destiny for generations. South Korea, long a key U.S. ally and a linchpin of American strategy in Asia, is now pivoting decisively toward Beijing. The message is clear. Aligning with China now offers more perceived benefits, more opportunities than sticking with the U.S. alone. This is a pragmatic calculation about the future, not a decision made lightly or without careful consideration of the risks and rewards. The world must now confront China's rise as a geopolitical force, not just an economic one, as its influence spreads across continents. Beijing is shaping the rules and institutions of the 21st century, and this deal is a masterstroke in its long-term strategy. It brings a major U.S. ally into China's economic orbit and demonstrates that countries now have options beyond simply choosing Washington or Beijing. Regional cooperation and pragmatism are replacing Cold War-era allegiances as nations seek new ways to secure their futures. The old order isn't just fading, it's being actively replaced by new institutions, new partnerships, and new ambitions. The global balance is shifting, and East Asia is leading the way into a future defined by its own vision, energy, and innovation. For an America First administration, the Seoul-Beijing deal is a seismic shock, reverberating through the corridors of power in Washington. Trump's foreign policy was built on bilateral deals and reasserting U.S. dominance. But this pact challenges that worldview, shaking the very foundation of his approach. It's a multilateral vision, constructed to bypass American influence, and it signals a shift in global alliances. Ironically, the very approach meant to prevent this outcome may have helped create it, as nations seek new partnerships. Trump's personal diplomacy is undermined as South Korea, a nation he praised and cajoled, aligns with China, signaling a significant geopolitical shift. The deal exposes a flaw in America First. By sidelining alliances, the U.S. created a vacuum China was eager to fill, expanding its influence. Allies like South Korea, seeking stability and economic growth, found opportunity with China's vast market and Belt and Road ambitions. Expect a swift, fiery response from Trump, blaming South Korea for disloyalty and China for manipulation, as he tries to regain control of the narrative. But beneath the bluster lies anxiety. The deal signals that U.S. bullying isn't enough to maintain primacy in a rapidly changing world. The world is moving on, and America's old playbook no longer works, necessitating a re-evaluation of its strategies. This is a wake-up call for U.S. strategy, urging a reconsideration of its global role. The rules of global engagement are changing fast, and the U.S. must adapt to stay relevant. The Korea-China deal's impact will hit the American economy hard. U.S. companies, once dominant in South Korea, now face new disadvantages. American automakers and farmers will lose ground to Chinese competitors with preferential access. This isn't just lost market share, it's systematic exclusion from a vital Asian economy. The tech sector is especially vulnerable as the pact encourages deep integration between Korean and Chinese firms. Joint standards on 5G, AI, and semiconductors could sideline Silicon Valley. The U.S. is left out of a new digital Silk Road. Lost exports mean lost jobs, especially in regions that supported Trump. The deal accelerates trends the administration vowed to reverse. Even the dollar's dominance is threatened, as regional trade shifts to the yuan and won. America's global influence built on economic power faces a profound challenge. The pain will be real and political. The US must rethink its role in a rapidly changing Asia. The Korea-China Pact sparks a political firestorm in Washington. The Trump administration blames predecessors for being soft on China, while critics fault America first for alienating allies. The TPP's abandonment is cited as a key mistake that opened the door for China. Congress is split. Some demand tariffs and retaliation, others urge diplomacy. The US risks pushing South Korea further into China's embrace if it overreacts. America's alliance system, built over 70 years, is under strain. Allies worldwide watch to see if the US responds with anger or reassessment. Internal divisions paralyze policy, with economic nationalists demanding confrontation and traditionalists urging alliance repair. The administration is caught between showing strength and risking further isolation. Trust in US leadership is eroding. The stakes: America's credibility and influence in Asia. The outcome will shape global perceptions of US power. Washington faces a defining test. The US-South Korea alliance, forged in war and built on shared values, is at a crossroads. For decades, American troops symbolized unwavering commitment in the Pacific. But South Korea's new deal with China marks a historic pivot, driven by pragmatism, not ideology. Seoul's prosperity is tied to China, and balancing US security with Chinese economic ties has become unsustainable. Years of American inconsistency and withdrawal from regional leadership like the TPP exit set the stage. South Korea's choice is a logical response to shifting realities. This move signals that economic interests now outweigh old loyalties. Other US allies in Asia are watching closely, facing similar dilemmas. The Korea-China deal offers a new template: regional integration over automatic alignment with Washington. The age of guaranteed US loyalty is over. Alliances are being redefined by economic gravity. Asia's future will be shaped by its own choices. The Korea-China Pact is a geopolitical game-changer for Northeast Asia. It weakens America's hub-and-spokes alliance system, pulling a key spoke, South Korea, closer to China. The new economic bloc challenges US dominance in technology and trade. Security implications are immediate. A China-dependent South Korea may resist US military initiatives. American freedom to operate in the region could be quietly constrained by economic ties. Japan, another US ally, is alarmed and may reconsider its own strategy, double down with the US or seek accommodation with China. North Korea policy grows more complex as China's leverage over the peninsula increases. Coordinating pressure on Pyongyang becomes harder with Seoul in China's orbit. Beijing emerges as the key power broker, further sidelining the US. The regional balance is being rewritten. The US faces new limits on its influence. The Korea-China deal is a calculated step in China's long-term strategy to reshape the global order. Beijing uses economic power to build dependencies and create new institutions it can lead. This pact shows China's strategic patience and preference for attraction over coercion. Initiatives like Belt and Road offer countries investment and access, not just demands. China's narrative of partnership is appealing, especially as the US retreats into protectionism. The US builds walls, China builds bridges. The deal is the fruit of years of groundwork. Seoul couldn't refuse the offer. China's goal, a post-American Asia, with Beijing at the center. The US becomes just one power among many. The world order is being remade and China is setting the terms. The Korea-China Pact is a moment of reckoning for the US. America must face the reality that old strategies no longer guarantee dominance. Leadership can't be taken for granted. Allies won't automatically follow. The US can respond with anger and tariffs, but that risks deeper isolation. The alternative is adaptation. Rethink foreign policy, invest in alliances, and compete on innovation and values. America must rebuild at home, strengthen infrastructure, education, and democracy. The greatest threat may be internal division, not external rivals. Renewed leadership starts with domestic renewal. The world is more competitive and complex than ever. America's path forward depends on humility and reinvention. The Korea-China Pact is a landmark, but it's part of a larger trend. The rise of a post-American world, where new alliances and partnerships are reshaping the global landscape. This isn't an anti-American era, but one where US power is no longer unrivaled. Instead, we're witnessing a shift toward a more multipolar world, where influence is shared and contested. Power is now more diffuse, with Asia leading the way as a center of innovation, economic growth, and political influence. China, Japan, India, and others are shaping their own destinies, building a new regional order that reflects their ambitions and values. The Korea-China deal is the clearest sign yet that Asia's future will be decided in the region, not just in Washington as local actors take the lead in setting the agenda. The US must adapt, acting as a partner and balancer, not a hegemon, if it wants to remain relevant in this new era. America still has unmatched military and economic strength, but it must be present, reliable, and willing to listen to its partners' needs. The challenge is to offer a better vision than China's, one that inspires trust, cooperation, and shared prosperity across the region. The post-American world is a reality to manage, not fear. It's a chance for new partnerships and creative solutions to global challenges. The era of unquestioned US dominance is over, but American influence can still be meaningful if it evolves. American leadership must become more collaborative and attuned to global aspirations, working with others to shape the future. The message is clear: the future is here, and it won't wait for America to catch up. The pace of change is accelerating. The world is moving on. Will the US keep up or be left behind by the new realities of global power?